I hear a faint voice through the receiver. A very familiar figure shows up on the AR display in front of me. Dave! A very soft voice. It feels like I haven't heard this voice in a very long time. Just hearing her voice makes it feel like something has finally come unstuck in me. After a little while, I'm finally able to collect myself. Then, taking care not to let my voice tremble, I speak into the receiver. Serrano, it's been a while. It's been a while. Oh my god. Even for me, that was pathetic. I had all these things I planned to say, but for some reason none of them came to mind, and all I spout is some meaningless greeting. I thought you wouldn't come see me. As she says that, Serrano's expression looks a little amazed and a little sulky. Sorry I took so long. It's fine, you came today at least. You too, Kakeru. It was pretty hard dragging Dave all the way down here. This is a dark conversation. Oh, really? Did you really not want to talk to me that badly? No, that's not it. Now I'm hurt. If you blame him too much, he'll get depressed, so try to forgive him, okay? I can imagine. The Serrano in the AR display has such a happy smile as she says that. The Serrano I knew so well was right before me. I know it's just compiled data from her memories. The technique known as Connect is simply using her memories as a basis to replicate her thought patterns and using these calculations to output words and expressions as we see. Okay, sweet. So, we're not actually talking to her, we're talking to a simulation of her in an estimation. This is always bad. Even then, though, seeing her in front of my eyes, hearing Serrano react to our words and the changes in her expressions, it's enough to make me believe that Serrano might still be alive out there somewhere. And I'm just talking to her through the AR display. It feels like we've grown really distant from each other. You broke up with me. Does it really feel that way to you, Serrano? Yeah, don't you think so too, Dave? Personally, I think we're closer now, if anything. I see, it is kind of weird. Yeah, you're right. We both smile bitterly and then lapse into silence. Even that feels surprisingly realistic. It's almost as if the everyday life I had a few months back is here again. I didn't think I'd be so happy just being able to talk to her again. I continue talking with Serrano for a while. I feel the happiness welling up inside of me. Get a grip, me. I didn't come here for pointless chatter. There's something more important you have to say to the person you cared about who's dead now. The things I couldn't say, what I should have said before it happened. This music. Yeah. Our conversation stops and silence falls between us once more. Every time I try to speak, I get too nervous and I freeze up again. I'm scared of ruining this happy moment. While I'm sitting here hesitating, Serrano simply silently waits for me to speak. I don't want to hear those words of rejection that I did that late afternoon in that cake shop. Why did Serrano say that back then? I came here to ask that. Get a grip, me. You just said that. You finally put those words that have been stuck into you. Serrano, why did you say I think it's best if we don't meet anymore back then? Huh? Serrano tilts her head in confusion. What do you mean? I didn't say anything like that. I steeled myself and said those words, but Serrano's reply was completely unexpected. Well, you remember the last time we met back at the usual cake shop you said that? It was so sudden, I was really shocked and... Dave, sorry, I just don't know what you're talking about. Serrano stares at me blankly. I didn't really want to talk about this in the first place, and I thought for a minute she might be playing dumb, but I can't stop my torrent of words. If I'd probably just listened to you back then, things might have not ended up this way. I've been thinking about that since that day. As if a dam had a burst, my words just kept pouring out. I know it's too late now, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the terrible things I said to you back then. There really isn't any point in saying this now. Serrano's already dead. I'm only saying this for my own satisfaction, but still I have to say it. Serrano, I'm sorry. Yeah, I really should have said this earlier. Putting it to words really made the reality of it all sink in. I look back at Serrano, but she's still staring blankly, like she didn't understand. Dave, I don't remember you saying any cruel words to me. Serrano, no way, that's impossible. What is this music? Alright. I guess it's the most fitting music we've had. I'll let you listen to it a little louder. Hang on. Still have my mic muted. We'll fade that and cut it. But the music now it's at least good. Like it's fitting. It's not just jazz whilst we talk about people dying. It's something's happening. You know, it's odd. Everything that happened on that day definitely happened. But Serrano looks completely serious. No, she looks like she's smiling gormlessly. Gormlessly? No, gormily at you. Could it be that she's holding a grudge and only pretending to have forgotten? No, that's not possible. I know quite well that Serrano's not the kind of person to do that. Kakari, what's going on here? My memories and Serrano's memories don't match up. I'm certain that happened back on that day, though. Karuka groans and after thinking for a while, finally answers. I need to move my camera over again. This is my first time hearing anything about this, so I don't know what did or didn't happen, but if you're telling the truth, that conversely has to mean that Serrano is lying. But she would never... I unconsciously object. Calm down, I'm just saying if you follow propositional logic, that's what this has to mean. Kakeru raises both of his hands as if to ward me off. But we know from our own observations that Serrano isn't the kind of girl to tell a lie. Doesn't that mean we've got a contradiction here? Correct, something's not right here. As Kakeru says that, he puts the bag he brought with him onto the ground and takes something out of it. He looks kind of like a card reader. Then he pulls something out that looks like a white card. A notebook PC he always has with him. Some black cables, screwdriver, and various other gadgets. He takes them one after another and places them onto the table next to the telephone. Sorry about the mess. Kakeru moves behind the telephone and thrusts the screwdriver into the back panel of the telephone. This is so wrong! We're never going to be able to come back here ever again. You know this, right? Oh, Kakeru, what are you... Don't worry about it. Just keep asking Serrano more questions, Dave. Huh? Just keep the conversation going. While saying that, Kakeru connects the card reader to his laptop, then he grabs the black cable he took before and connects it one end to the telephone and the other to his computer. Okay. I wonder what Dave's planning. I look back at Serrano within the AR display. Dave, is there something wrong with me? Serrano must have gotten worried after hearing my conversation with Kakeru. She looks at me uneasily. Not at all, you're just fine. I chose my words carefully to try and ease her concerns. Okay, thanks. Serrano must have realised what I was trying to do. She smiled peacefully. At the very least, I was able to tell her things that I'd wanted to all this time. Thanks to that, I'm finally able to think a bit more calmly. Serrano, could you please answer the questions I'm about to ask you? Sure, of course I will, but maybe I won't be able to, like last time. That's fine, just answer what you can, Serrano. Okay, got it. Determined look on her face, Jesus. Serrano doesn't seem to have any memories of that day at all. As I'm thinking about that, a suspicious feeling starts to grow in the back of my mind. I can only think of one way to ascertain right now. I take a deep breath. Serrano, were you really run over by a car? What? Serrano, did you really try and jump in front of a moving car? And it's just going to be terminated immediately. You're not allowed to ask the dead about how they died in that case. If Serrano didn't die by jumping in front of a car, this question shouldn't be forbidden. This is all speculation, but it's still worth a shot. Huh? In the 3 years I've spent with you, frankly speaking, I've never thought you'd be the kind of person to do something like that, so I couldn't just figure out why, no matter how many times I asked myself. I continued to avoid saying the word suicide as I questioned her. Sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about, Dave. Hero looks at me completely lost. Her expression is completely blank. But the interview hasn't been terminated yet. In other words, it's quite likely that Serrano didn't die by jumping in front of a car. Okay, sweet. So this is what I said in the first episode, right? That she probably didn't die like that. There was more mysterious circumstances behind it. I exhale slowly. I'm worried that the interview might really get cancelled here. Alright, let's change the question up a little. Can you tell me about the time you got close to a car on July the 13th? Just say anything you remember. I'll ask you one more time. On July 13th, 2030, do you remember a car ever getting close to you, Serrano? A car getting close to me? It feels like the light is slowly starting to return to Serrano's eyes. Serrano. The moment I shout out her name, she comes back to her senses and opens her eyes. Ah, did you remember anything? No, stop. Don't come any closer. Serrano suddenly looks as if she's terrified by something and holds her head in both hands, shaking it back and forth. Serrano? No, stop. The music is again changed to be something appropriate. Listen to this shit. Pretty scary. Hey, what's wrong? Dave? Save me, Dave? I'm right here, Serrano. Serrano continues to shake her head with a terrified look in her eyes. She can't see me anymore. What on earth is going on here? I desperately call out to Serrano. What's wrong, Serrano? Look at me, I'm over here. No, don't come any closer, I'm scared. Hey, what's wrong? Get a hold of yourself. So she said the word hashtag $, question mark, exclamation mark, ampersand, percentage, exclamation mark. Right. Okay. Suddenly, Serrano's voice turns into static noise and I unconsciously reel my head back from the receiver. At the same time, the AR display showing Serrano starts to warp. Hey, Serrano! A critical error has occurred. Please call the memory information manager. Okay, right, I get where that's going. Serrano! I get it. Hey! She looks so real, as if she was still alive, but Serrano has vanished. All that's left is a mechanical voice repeating the same lines with a frozen expression. The eeriness of it all gives me the shivers. It's almost as if something has been simply mimicking Serrano has broken and revealed its true form. Serrano, look at me! The AR display fills with static noise for a moment and then simply vanishes. What the hell is going on? I reflexively drop the receiver. It falls to the carpet with a thud. It's like we were forcibly ripped out of a fairy tale and brought back to reality. So does that mean there really is something wrong with Serrano's memories? Maybe. I don't know. Shit. Kakeru has been watching us while typing on the keyboard this whole time, so he's seen the whole thing, and it looks like he is as shocked as I am. The serene feeling of the room has given off was long gone. Everything in here feels artificial, and even the warm, conditioned air feels chilly and tense. Was this room always so inhospitable? At my wit's end, I can no longer bear to stand in front of the telephone, so I go and take a look at what Kakeru is doing. His laptop screen is full of dialogue boxes that say stuff like now copying. Hey, what are you trying to do? He's probably like copying the software and speech like somehow. I don't know. I'm trying to access this telephone's call log and find the logs that have Serrano's-chan's ID and copy them over into my card here. You can do that? The Connect Center has tons of restrictions in place on who can access what data and has a manifold security system that was jointly developed by whatever. So it should have security holes somewhere. That was a really long way of saying that. Do you think that's really true? Well, I can't say for sure, but I got this info from an anonymous image board on the Themisnet. He was on 4chan, wasn't he? He was on 4chan. Or Imgur, and he believed something. More importantly, there's practically no one that would come all the way here to exploit security holes in the Connect Center, really? I mean, if you think about it, if you were close enough to the dead person to be registered to view their memories, you are probably too bereaved to think about trying to hack the system. I don't know about that. If it were that easy, someone would have been killed off for mercy's sake. Mercy? No, for, like, a political statement so you could see it, you know? That's why no one knows if it can be done, because no one's even tried it yet. That makes no sense at all, and the fact that a 17-year-old hacker would do that is ridiculous. On the flip side, since no one's tried it, you can't say it can't be done either. Thinking about it that way, don't you think it's worth giving it a shot? Or people have tried it and it doesn't work. Did you think of that? I'm glad I brought the tools needed to give it a try. Wait, don't tell me this was your goal the whole time. Without looking away, Amamiya continues to type on his laptop as he answers. I don't think Serrano killed herself either. Something must have happened, something we're not being told. That's why ever since she died I've been planning for this. I see. While I had lost sight of myself and wallowed in despair, Kakeru alone continued to question Serrano's death and continued to investigate the truth. I'm not the only one who's sad that Serrano died. Kakeru is dealing with it in his own way. Kakeru, I'm sorry, I was only thinking of myself and... Kakeru, I'm sorry, I was only thinking of myself and... If you've got time to apologize, you've got time to stand watch. Go keep a lookout at the entrance. Alright, got it. I thought back to my conversation with Serrano as I kept a watch over the door. Serrano definitely didn't commit suicide. I want to know the truth. Why did Serrano say we wouldn't see each other back then? And why did she have to die? I need to know the truth. I stare at the laptop as I pray for answer when suddenly I hear a man's voice say, "Excuse me," from the door behind me. I instantly stand up and position myself to block his view of Kakeru. At the same time, the door opens. A guy looks like a staff member wearing labourer's clothes and a man in a white lab coat walk in. The guy who looks like a staff member smiles at us peacefully, but the lab coat guy behind him is expressionless and stares at us sharply. The guy wearing the lab coat has a nameplate on his chest that reads Isaida Tomoyuki. I'm probably mispronouncing a lot of these names, I'm sorry. The staff guy speaks first. Sorry for interrupting you during your interview. We detected an abnormality in this room and came to investigate. Is something the matter? The staff guy is still smiling peacefully, but the lab coat guy, Isaida, is looking around the room intently. The contrast between the two makes it hard to say anything. Well, that sound got kind of weird. I have to buy as much time as possible and keep them guessing what we're really doing. Yes, I see. So the sound wasn't working properly. Could you please be a bit more specific? Well, it felt like the person's voice wasn't their voice anymore. It wasn't their voice anymore, I see. Yeah, they suddenly started saying a bunch of stuff that didn't make sense. In order to keep their attention on me, I really give them ambiguous replies, but they'll soon narrow down the particulars. Are you still not done yet, Kakeru? Oh, come on! Are you kidding me? He looks like he's wearing his dad's lab coat. What the fuck is that? Look at it. He is really thin, and this lab coat is built for someone with a face like mine. Oh my god. Oh no, he walks in. I definitely missed that. Isaida, who's been silent this whole time, must have got really impatient as he suddenly pushes the staff guy out of the way and walks in. I can't let them see what Kakeru's doing. Wait! I tried to deflect Isaida away from Kakeru, but he just silently pushes me aside. It'd be odd for me to keep resisting, so I simply let myself get pushed away. I unconsciously glanced back at Kakeru and... Man, all we did was just put the card in and talked normally too. What a really odd thing to fucking say. Kakeru is holding his bag as if nothing had happened and forces a smile. Did I manage to buy enough time? It felt like the sound was starting to cut in places and stuff. Maybe there was an electrical problem. Isaida glares sharply at Kakeru, who is just scratching his head and laughing. Excuse me, but could we please examine the terminal? Yeah, sure, go ahead. Thank you. Please don't move until we're finished investigating. As the staff member and Isaida go to examine the phone, Kakeru moves beside me and hands me the card, the one he used to grab all the data behind his back. As we exchange glances, he signals towards the door. Serrano's memory data. In order to not let them grasp our intentions, I quietly take the card and hold it tightly in my hand. Let's make a break for it when Isaida fellow turns back to us. What? I mean, you could just put the thing in your fucking shoe. They're not gonna let you come back. They know your name. It's recorded. Whatever. I slip the card into my jeans pocket and quietly move towards the door. Then just as I quietly open the door, it happens. A siren starts echoing throughout the building. At the same time, both the staff member and Isaida turn back towards us. You do. Stop right there. Run! So, we're just gonna... Alright, sure. At Kakeru's signal, we both leap out of the room and start running. We burst out into the hallway and run back the way we came. However, a few guys in security uniforms show up and start running towards us. There should be a way out this way. So we're running from national security. This is just a thing we're doing. The whole place is on alert and 2 teenagers are running away. Alright, sure, why not? Kakeru points to a passageway leading in the opposite direction as he runs. Got it. I run after him. However, we quickly run into a T-junction as we have no choice but to pick a direction. You go left, you always go left. Which way? Left. Yeah, see, you always go left first. Kakeru dashes to the left without any hesitation, and I follow behind him. Ever since the alarm started ringing, it looks like the metal plates had stopped moving. Most of the other customers are standing around confused. Customers? We have to pay for that? I guess it would make sense for upkeep. I guess it'd probably come out of taxes, considering it's independent but ran by 5 different government bodies. We continue to weave between them as we run. Hiroki, look at oh no, Dave, sorry, look at this! Dave pulls up an AR display using his MRD. A series of 5 circles appear before us with 4 in a ring, and the last one in the center surrounded by the others. It's a map to the Connect Center. I got this from Themsnet too. When did you... That's not important right now. We're here in the center circle. Our current goal is the top left circle. You know how the passageways between all 5 buildings have emergency exits? That's how we make our getaway. Got it. So if we can make it that far, Not quite. Once we reach the passageway, we'll be splitting up, Dave. It's possible the emergency exits are locked, right? That's why I'll be going on ahead. This is so dumb. If they are locked, I'll contact you with my MRD. But wait a minute! If they're not locked, I won't call you, I'll run out and hide, so you need to make your way around the lower left passageway and escape from there. Wait a minute, don't just decide everything by yourself. I look at Kakeru as I say this and notice his expression is dead serious. It looks like he really wants to do this. I can't wait to end up in prison. Don't worry, we're two teenage geniuses. I'm sure we'll find a way around it, or somehow. While we talk, I see from the corner of my eye that our pursuers are starting to catch up. I suppose we don't really have any other options at this point. If you can't get out from there, what are you going to do? Well, I'll probably just get caught then. I can't let you get caught for me. Remember how I gave you the card, Dave? That's what's important. That's why as long as you get out, it's fine. If I get caught, they'll just scold me a little. But if they find the card too, then they'll confiscate it. And get scolded. Just get scolded a little? Is it really that simple? God knows. This is so dumb! We are two teenagers running away. We are fugitives. Sure, of course this is happening.